Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Angela Dunn. I'm the Managing Director at Rehab Wallet.
Hey guys, my name is Kelli Garrett and I'm one of the co-founders of Rehab Wallet. Rehab Wallet is an asset-based lender with very low documentation. We don't pull any credit checks, no verification of deposits. We look for experienced borrowers in areas that we like and invest in properties that we like. We're answering a few frequently asked questions that our borrowers and potential new borrowers have been asking us. So, Ange, I'm going to ask you a couple questions today. One is, why does Rehab Wallet only work with experienced investors, and what is the minimum experience required?
Okay, great question, and for sure, all the events that we've attended, eventually that question comes up.
Yep.
So the short answer is the main reason that our business model focuses on experienced investors is because we want to be good stewards of our investor money.
Yep.
Or rather experienced borrowers and experienced flippers, because we want to be good investors, stewards of our investors' money. Additionally, Rehab Wallet can only be successful when our borrowers are successful. So we lock arms. The people that are in our network traditionally are quite experienced. We've got a great network here in Charleston. But how Rehab Wallet defines an experienced flipper or borrower is them successfully having exited and completed and rehabbed 2 deals over the past year. And then often the borrower will follow up and ask, well, you know, how do you define exit? We're looking for that borrower to have obviously paid the loan off in full and to have followed, the requirements of the previous lender. We're fortunate enough to have an 85% return borrower rate.
Yep.
And so, month in, month out, we're talking about 15% or so that are new borrowers. But to answer your question, when we're considering a new borrower, we want to see where they've completed 2 deals in the past year or so.
Right. The experience kind of comes into play also with the rehab, or the size of the rehab. So let's talk about that for a minute. We both have flipped properties ourselves, so we know what a $40,000 rehab might feel like, and then what a $140,000 rehab looks like. So let's talk about the experience needed there.
Okay. And obviously those 2 rehab budgets are very, very different. If someone has successfully completed 2 deals over the past year, but their rehabs were $25,000, $35,000, even $45,000, which a $45,000 rehab budget's nothing to sneeze at. There's a lot of work and a lot of improvements that are occurring. But that's a vastly different level of experience than a $90,000 and $100,000 and up rehab budget.
Absolutely.
So, if a new borrower comes to us and their experience level is $40,000 and below rehabs on assets that maybe had a value of $200,000, $300,000, or even $400,000, but that first deal they're bringing to Rehab Wallet is a $800,000 loan and a rehab budget of $140,000, but they have not successfully completed something like that in the past, we'd have to have a conversation about that.
That's right.
And they may need a JV partner or someone who has been in that area, been in that type of market, that size of deal.
And those required documents that we would need from that person that's doing a $140,000 rehab, we'd need to see some HUD settlement statements or closing docs to show that they have successfully been able to complete that and exit those before we're going to, go along the journey of a big $140,000. We want to see our borrowers completing those projects.
And some pictures.
Yeah.
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Absolutely.
And their closing statements are going to show us numbers, and that's going to tell part of the story. But gosh, you know, what were the quality of the finishes of that $50,000 project? What were the quality of the finishes of that $140,000 project? It's got to be quality, quality work.
Absolutely. So obviously, one of the requirements is to have some experience at Rehab Wallet, right? And so what happens when somebody doesn't have experience?
Okay.
What goes on? We just tell them no and tell them to move on, go to another lender? How do we keep them in our network?
That may be the most often asked question at the network events, because there are a lot of new borrowers attending the events that we sponsor, or when we partner with other people in our network in some of the other markets, especially the markets in the North Carolina area where we're really intentionally expanding and growing. But to answer your question, when there is someone who is not experienced yet, as the way Rehab Wallet defines it, we're going to introduce them to someone else who might be a good fit for them. Now, ultimately, we want our borrowers to understand that their business decisions are their business decisions. We're not here to hold their hand and coach them through everything, but we're certainly going to introduce them to some people or to guide them, because we were in their shoes. And granted, you were in their shoes a really long time ago. Do you see how I just called you out on your age there?
I see that.
All right. But we want our borrowers to be successful, and we're going to introduce them to people that we think they're a good fit.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Hey guys, if you need anything from Rehab Wallet, if you want to upload a deal, please go to rehabwallet.com/borrow and upload your deal there. Or if you want to email us for any reason, email us at info@rehabwallet.com. Thank you guys.